Let's start with the basic question, why save for retirement? Well, the simple answer is because you need to. Let me share a couple of statistics that might make you a believer in that statement. In the earliest 20th century, life expectancy of humans was around 30 years of age. 2010, that number sat around 70 years of age. Note that this is the world average. The figure is probably much higher for developing countries like the United States. But what's it going to be in 2050? This is unknown, but a good guess is that it will be much higher as advances in modern medicine, technology, and so forth enable us humans to live much longer, at least on average. So we might live a lot longer, yet the sources of funding for that retirement for that extended age are limited. Social Security, for example, is available here in the United States, seems very unreliable. Some people forecast it will go bankrupt in a few decades. And even if it doesn't, which is what I believe personally, the amounts provided will likely not cover a lot of the expenses during the retirement years and for a long period of time. There are company-sponsored plans such as pensions and other defined benefit plans, but these are less common today. During the last century, for example, many companies like General Electric, Boeing, government organizations offered guarantees to their employees when they retired. But any startup, especially here in Silicon Valley, will likely not offer such a plan. 401k or other defined contribution benefit plan or defined contribution plan is more commonplace. So the risk of investing and the responsibility of investing for retirement shifts from the company to the actual individual. So bottom line is that we are likely to live longer, which will require more money to fund that extended age. Yet external sources of retirement funding are limited. So it will be largely up to us and only us to make saving for retirement a reality. Let's talk about another reason why saving for retirement makes sense, particularly if you're a young professional. You have the ability to unleash the power of compound interest. So what do I mean by that? Let's start with a famous quote by a famous guy named Albert Einstein. He once said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. So compound interest is a very, very powerful force and essentially means that money will build on top of other money, and therefore the rate of the growth of those funds will increase rapidly over time. I want to illustrate the power of compounding through a rule that's commonly cited in the world of investments and personal finance, and that's the rule of 72. Basically what that rule states is that if you take the number 72 and divide it by the annual interest rate or the annual investment return, which is mathematically the same thing, you will estimate the number of years it takes to take your original investment to 2 times that original amount. So for example, if you earned 1% interest, which is about what you would earn in a very safe investment, like a savings account, it will take about 72 years to double. So going from $1,000 to $2,000 will take 72 years. Wow. But if you start investing a little bit more aggressively and your returns are higher, say 4% a year, 18 years to double your money. If you invest moderately to highly aggressive, 8% a year is likely, and based on historical returns of the stock market, it'll take 9 years. So you can see that as a young person saving for retirement, this is very powerful, since you can double your funds multiple times over an investment lifetime. Say you have 36 years to retire. Well, you can double your funds that you invest 4 times, essentially, if you're earning about 8%. So in conclusion, you need to save for retirement because it's almost a necessity in this day and age. The way things sit today, no one else is going to do it for you, and no one else is going to fund your likely expected extended lifetime. The other reason is that, especially if you're a young person, you can really take advantage of this power of compound interest.